Water, a precious resource. Lesson preview. Availability of water. Forms of water. Water cycle. Groundwater. Depletion of water table. Causes of groundwater depletion. Distribution of water. Water management. Ways to save water. Effect of water scarcity on plants. Availability of water. Water exists in abundance on the earth, so it is called the blue planet. About 71% of the surface of the earth is covered with water. Most of this water is found in the seas, oceans, rivers, lakes, ice caps, as groundwater, and in the atmosphere. Most of the water available to us is unfit for human consumption. Only fresh water is fit for use. About 97.5% of the total water is present in oceans and seas. This water is salty and therefore unfit for human consumption, irrigation, and industrial use. Of the remaining 2.5% fresh water, a major portion is frozen in glaciers and polar ice caps, and is thus not readily available. So, we are left with just a tiny percentage of fresh water for our use. Only 0.08% of this 2.5% is available as river water, lake water, and groundwater, which is useful for human consumption. Hence, there is a need to use water judiciously. Earth appears blue from space. Earth's total water. Fresh water. Surface water. The United Nations has recommended a minimum of 50 liters of water per person per day for drinking, washing, cooking, and maintaining proper hygiene. Water scarcity affects a large number of people across the world. Millions of people in our own country do not get enough water. It is estimated that in a few years from now, more than 1/3 of the people on Earth will not get sufficient water to live. Water shortage has become a concern throughout the world. Realizing the importance of water, the 22nd of March is celebrated as the World Water Day. We celebrate this day every year so as to attract everyone's attention towards conserving water. In some places, there is an acute shortage of water. Long queues of people for getting water can be seen, as taps run dry. Sometimes, you will see people fighting over water and protests for demand of water. The scarcity of water increases during the summer months. You must have often been told by your parents and teachers not to waste water. You must be a lucky one if you get sufficient water supply in a day. Women and children at many places have to walk several kilometers to fetch water as many villages do not have a water supply system and villagers have to fetch water directly from the sources. A lot of time and energy of women and children is wasted in such efforts. In towns and cities, water supply is maintained by civic bodies. Houses are supplied with water drawn from nearby lakes, rivers, wells, etc. through a network of pipes. Activity. Imagine there is no water supply to your house. You have to walk 2 kilometers daily to get water from a well. Will your daily schedule get upset? If so, how? Forms of water. You all have learnt that water exists in 3 states: solid, liquid, and gas. These 3 states are interchangeable and reversible. Our natural environment contains all the 3 states of water. Solid form. Snow and ice present in the snow-covered mountains, glaciers, and ice caps at the poles of the earth. Liquid form. Oceans, seas, lakes, rivers, and underground water. Gaseous form. Water vapor present in the air. Water cycle. You must have wondered that with continuous use of water, a day will come when the water available for use will be exhausted. Water has been available to us for millions of years. This is because the 3 forms of water undergo changes in a continuous cycle to keep the total amount of water constant on the earth. This cycling of water is called water cycle. Let us quickly recall the processes involved in water cycle. Water evaporates from the water bodies such as oceans, seas, rivers, lakes, and ponds due to the heat of the sun. Plants also give out water vapor during transpiration. Water vapor rises up and condenses to form tiny drops of water. These drops of water combine together to form clouds. When the clouds get heavy due to water drops, rainfall occurs. This is called precipitation. Rainwater falls on the earth. Some of it goes back into the water bodies, and some percolates in the soil. The process repeats itself and goes on. Groundwater. You have seen moist soil dug from a pit at a construction site. This indicates that water is present under the ground. Groundwater is fresh water, from rain or melting snow, that seeps into the soil and is collected in the tiny spaces, pores, between rocks and particles of soil. The level of groundwater is called the water table. The level of water table varies from place to place from less than a meter to several meters. It also varies from season to season. It falls down during summers and rises during rainy seasons. The process of seeping of rainwater and water from other sources such as rivers, ponds, and lakes into the soil, filling up empty spaces and cracks deep below the ground is called infiltration. It is a continuous process which helps the groundwater to get recharged. Groundwater is pure as it gets filtered through many layers of sand, rock, and soil. At places, the groundwater gets collected between the layers of hard rocks below the water table. Such huge reservoir of water is called an aquifer. Water present in the aquifers is pumped out with the help of tube wells and hand pumps. You must have seen boring being done in or near your locality. Try to find out how deep it has to be dug to reach the water table. Depletion of water table. When the groundwater pumped out is equal to that replenished by seepage of rainwater, the water table remains unchanged. However, water table may go down if the water is not sufficiently replenished. Causes of groundwater depletion. Excessive usage of water causes lowering of water table. This is due to increase in population, increase in industrial and agricultural activities, poor rainfall, deforestation and decrease in the area for seepage of water due to construction of roads, buildings, etc. Increasing population. With increase in population, the need of water for various domestic purposes has increased. There is more demand for construction of houses, roads, and buildings. This has led to decrease in open areas leading to reduced seepage of water in the ground. A lot of water is required for construction work. At times, groundwater is used for this purpose. This has led to depletion of groundwater and fall in the water table. Increasing industries. All industries use water. With increase in the number of industries, the demand of water has also increased. Industries are the greatest consumers of water, as almost everything that we use needs water in its production process, be it processing, cleaning, transportation, etc. Water used by most of the industries is groundwater. This has put a heavy load on the underground water, resulting in water table falling every year. Agricultural activities. India is an agricultural country and most of the farmers depend upon rain for irrigation of their crops. Due to erratic rains, farmers are forced to use groundwater for irrigating their crops. Population pressure on agriculture has increased the use of groundwater day by day. This leads to depletion of the water table. Deforestation. Trees and plants increase the absorption of water into the soil by slowing down the flow of water, but more and more forests are being cleared for construction of houses, offices, shopping malls, etc. This has led to slowdown of the natural process of groundwater replenishment. Distribution of water. The distribution of water on the earth is not uniform. Some areas have plenty of water due to heavy rains. On the other hand, Some areas have water scarcity. Our country is a vast country. The amount of rainfall varies from place to place. Some areas receive heavy rains whereas some areas have very little rainfall. Excess of rainfall in an area causes floods, whereas lack of rain causes drought. Floods and droughts cause a lot of damage to both life and property. Some regions of our country may have floods while others may suffer from droughts at the same time. Figure 16.9. Rainfall distribution in India. Water management. Water, as we know, is a precious natural resource. We must find out ways to avoid its wastage. We should work out effective strategies for not only managing the water supply but also managing the demands properly. Managing wastage of water. There should not be any leakage in the supply line. Leakage of water is the main reason for wastage of water. You might have seen water supply pipes leaking and a lot of water flowing out through them. It is the duty of the civic authorities to prevent such wastage of precious water. Leaking of taps at houses is another major cause of wastage. We also waste water knowingly or unknowingly while brushing teeth, having a bath, shaving, washing clothes, etc. We must use water judiciously. Rainwater harvesting. We should use rainwater to recharge the groundwater, instead of allowing it to flow away. This is known as rainwater harvesting. Do you know that in many states rainwater harvesting in high-rise buildings has been made mandatory? In India, the ancient practices of storage of water and water recharge were bawaris, step wells, jhiris. Bawari was the traditional way of collecting water. With the passage of time, bawaris became dumping areas of garbage. People started to rethink regarding reviving of these bawaris due to acute water shortage. The revival of bawaris has helped in managing the water needs of the people despite scanty rains in many places. Drip irrigation. Farmers should use drip irrigation. It is a technique in which water is supplied directly at the base of the plant with the help of narrow tubes. This type of irrigation system employs the method of watering the roots of plants drop by drop. This method saves a lot of water. Ways to save water. There are a number of ways to save water. Get leaking water pipes repaired immediately. Turn off taps while brushing your teeth. Use a bucket and mug for having a bath instead of a shower. Mop floor instead of washing with running water. Use water in which vegetables are washed for watering plants. Clean car with a wet cloth instead of washing it with a hosepipe. Effect of water scarcity on plants. You know that flowering plants die if they do not get water for a few days. Hence, we have to water potted plants regularly. Plants need water to get nutrients from the soil to prepare their food by photosynthesis. If water is not made available to plants, they will die. Absence of plants on Earth's surface mean loss of green character of the planet. No oxygen. No plant-based food. Insufficient rain. It will eventually lead to the end of all life forms on Earth. Is the thought not frightening?